So, are you a girl and are you a climber? I guess we'll
That
start with the big
I
questions.
would say yes, both to both.
Yeah,
All,
yeah,
all
okay.
of the above.
This is Climbing Gold.
Girl Climber is a feature-length documentary about me and my climbing life centered around climbing on El Capitan. Kind of
What
that's the pillar of the story that carries it.
yeah, what specifically are you trying to climb?
I am trying to free climb the Golden Gate route in under 24 hours.
And what's the deal with that? Why freeing El Cap in a day?
For me, freeing El Cap in a day was this sort of culmination of all of my skills and everything I learned in climbing through the years, boiled down into this single 24-hour period. For me, it was this achievement that I sort of, when I first started climbing, that was the first thing I ever heard about was Lynn Hill freeing the nose in a day. And I just thought that was so rad and amazing. And I never thought I would be able to do anything like that. And so it was just this pedestal type of achievement that I had from being a little tiny girl. And then as I grew up and evolved as a rock climber and started expanding my skills a little bit more, it became something that I started thinking was maybe possible for me. And thanks to you, in part, I was
In
able to
small
achieve
part.
it.
Do you remember what do you remember about Lynn Hill freeing the nose in a day?
I don't even think I knew what that meant, honestly. I knew that it was this groundbreaking achievement that kind of like set her apart from other climbers, male and female. And I just felt like that was so unique for a sport to have a woman be someone who could really break a barrier that in that way. And so I think I just in my head as like a 10-year-old, I put her on a pedestal as like, one of the best climbers in the world, male or female. And for me, that was really important. That felt like climbing was something that girls could excel at just as much as boys. And that was really important to me, I think, as a young girl. I kind of fought against the idea of like femininity and being a girly girl. I always wanted to like be more like my cousins who were boys, and I always wanted to prove myself, and I felt like I always had something to prove when I was a kid. And so I think that's part of what drew me to climbing was, Lynn Hill and her achievement.
I mean, you'd already started
Yeah.
climbing in the gym before you knew anything about it though, right?
I started climbing in the gym, and part of why I started climbing in the gym was because I was better at it than my cousins who were boys. We were just like incredibly competitive with each other. It was like everything we did had to be a competition, and everything had to be like who was better and who could do this. And it was like we're always like pushing each other to do things that were more daring. And like I broke my arm once because I fell out of a tree because we were trying to like, we were just kind of like pushing the edge of who could go higher and who could go out further and who could, and it was just always this thing that I had in my head that I had to be like, I had to outperform them in every way. And so when I
And
started climbing, I was actually naturally better than them. And that was like one of the only things that I was better than them at.
how many of your cousins have subsequently freed El Cap in a day?
None, zero. I really stuck it to them.
Yeah, that's the spirit. You finally bested them
I
once and for all.
did.
Yeah, they're not having an IMAX release, are they? Screw those cousins. Did either of them any of them climb or anything?
Yeah, they both climbed. We grew up on the climbing team together.
Oh yeah.
My younger cousin Ben became a youth national champion in like 2000. No, in like 2000, he beat Daniel.
He did?
Yeah, he beat Daniel. Daniel got second.
Wow.
I
Do they
know.
do they still climb?
They dabble. Yeah, they climb. My cousins, yeah, they climb a little bit.
You better watch out that maybe they are
I
gonna
know
free
they
climb El
might
Cap in
they
a
might
day
come
eventually.
back.
Yeah, totally. You're like, oh man, all this effort you put in over the years, and they're still gonna best you at some point.
I climbed on the moon board with my cousin Zach like a few years ago, and I was like, damn it, he's still like pretty strong and probably stronger than me on the moon board, but that's not really saying much because everyone's stronger than me on the moon board.
That's funny. You're like, damn it, after being a professional climber for 20 years, he's
I
still
know.
better than me on the
He
board.
climbs like once every 6 months.
Now, 5 years past that, I mean, it's taken a while for the film to actually come out. How does the experience feel for you 5 years later? I mean, is it slightly surreal to revisit this chapter of your life?
Yeah, it's pretty surreal. I think it's it's a bit weird because it is like this feature length film about my life and who I am as a person and my
Except that it's
evolution.
about
And
who you
then
were 5 years ago.
exactly, it's
Yeah.
like now 5 years has passed and I have a 2-year old and I'm just in a very different place in my life. And I think for me it's just been important to keep that in perspective, like okay, this is this is a snippet of my journey and it's a story, and I'm excited because it's fun to kind of it's actually pretty fun to like relive it and watch the footage finally and see everything that we went through, me and Adrian and John and you. It's just been kind of a fun process to see it all come together, and it is a good story. I mean, there's a roller coaster and it's a cool like narrative arc. But at the same time, it it's interesting because it's like I just feel like such a different person than I was then.
Yeah, I mean it is a roller coaster for sure. I mean, there's a lot of trauma, a lot of big feelings, as we'd say with the kids. I mean, talk about that. I mean, how is it seeing that much, like that much raw emotion on screen like that?
I think there are moments when it's a little bit intimidating and scary because you're like, oh God, everyone's gonna see this now. And when it was happening, I didn't really anticipate what
Yeah,
it
you
was
never
gonna
believe that people
be.
actually
Yeah,
see
you're
it. No,
not
no. I mean,
like,
I had the exact same experience with Free Solo. You're like, yeah, they're filming, but no one's ever going to see the film. And then you're like, oh
yeah,
my God, it's a real film. It's coming out. You're like, people are seeing it. You're like, that's pretty embarrassing.
it
But,
is.
but at that point, the ship has sailed. So there's nothing to do about it anyway.
Yeah, there's nothing to do about it, but also it's kind of cool in that way because it's like I was just doing my thing and I was being myself and I was like just expressing myself and being vulnerable because I'm up there with people who I really trust, and they just so happen to have a camera, and I thought like, oh, maybe this will be like a little YouTube short at some point, whatever. I never really thought through the idea that it could become like a feature doc, even though I kind of knew that that was John's dream for a long time.
Yeah, but a lot of people have dreams. They
A
don't
lot of
necessarily
people have
make it happen.
dreams.
You're kind of like, oh, wow, John actually pulled it off and turned it into a film. Like,
Yeah,
incredible. Uh,
exactly. Exactly. So
I mean,
it's been interesting, and it's been I think I've had to really like come to accept that this is who I am and people are going to see it and it is what it is.
are you proud of the film?
I am proud of the film. I think in some ways I'm like I didn't really have much to do with the film. Like I agreed to be filmed and I did the thing, but I think the people who should really be proud are John and Jess and the people who are really involved in putting it together and just kind of like being on the grind every day, going up there, shooting it and then following through with getting it made. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of the way that it's told. I think it's pretty honest and I think it's pretty vulnerable and I think people relate to it in a way that's inspiring and cool. And yeah, I think it's awesome.
5 years later, are you still proud of the climb in the same way?
Yeah, I'm proud of the climb. I think I have a different perspective because I'm in a different place in my life and so it's funny because I go to Elk I go to Yosemite and I look at El Cap and I'm like, "Oh my God, it's so big." Like I kind of can't even remember what it was like to have the like dedication and motivation and time to put into a project like that.
Dude, honestly, I feel like we're having the exact same, like you could be interviewing me about Free Solo. It's all the exactly the same answers. I'm kind of like, well, I had nothing to do with the film. I just let them record it and then they've released a movie. And then it's like, yeah, now I go and sit in the meadow and I'm like, oh my God, look at that wall. Like there's no way I would
Yeah.
do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. You
It's
go
the
and sit
same
out there with your
experience.
with your toddlers and you're kind of like, I can't even imagine going up on that wall, 4
Yeah,
days a
and
week for like months on end.
yeah, I mean, it's freestyling is obviously different, but you still go up there. I haven't gone up there.
You haven't even touched El
Like
Cap again since.
I haven't even touched it, and I'm kind of like, oh man, like that was such a mission for me, and it took so much, and I just don't know how I had the energy, but I do because I didn't have a kid.